In some parts of Mexico, if you see violence, murder, or drug trafficking, a few cartels may be responsible. One of the main suspects is the Sinaloa Cartel, considered the largest and most powerful drug trafficking organization in the Western Hemisphere. This network includes some of Mexico's most notorious drug lords. Beyond the violence and human suffering associated with this criminal enterprise lies a staggering reality. The Sinaloa Cartel is estimated to be worth over $500 billion. How did a group of criminals amass such an unimaginable fortune? We are going to uncover the truth behind the Sinaloa Cartel. Without further ado, let's start the video. History. The state of Sinaloa in Mexico has a long history of growing and smuggling marijuana and poppy. Many of Mexico's drug trafficking organizations started here as small groups of peasant families. In the 1960s and 1970s, these families moved from smuggling to dealing drugs, especially marijuana. Pedro Aviles was one of the first to traffic large amounts of marijuana and invited Joaquin El Chapo Guzman into the business. Aviles was killed in 1978 during a police shootout. In the late 1970s, the families expanded their activities. They began transporting cocaine for Colombian and Central American traffickers and moved their operations to Guadalajara in Jalisco. Leaders like Rafael Caro Quintero, Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo, and Ernesto Fonseca Carrillo were key figures. With help from Honduran Juan Ramon Mata Ballesteros, they worked with Colombia's Medellin cartel. Mata Ballesteros was the main link between Colombian and Mexican traffickers, establishing drug routes still used today, moving cocaine by air and sea to Central America and Mexico, then overland to the U.S. In 1985, Mexican traffickers killed Enrique Camarena, a U.S. DEA agent. This led to the downfall of the Guadalajara cartel, as U.S. pressure forced Mexican authorities to act. The cartel's leaders fled, and remaining factions set up in different parts of Mexico. The Arellano Felix brothers went to Tijuana, Carrillo Fuentes' family to Ciudad Juarez, and El Chapo and his partner, Hector Luis Palma Salazar, stayed in Sinaloa. The Sinaloa Cartel then formed an alliance with the Valencia family in Michoacán, creating the Milenio Cartel. This gave them access to key Pacific ports and chemicals from China for meth production. Violence between these groups started quickly. In 1992, Guzman sent gunmen to a Tijuana cartel party, killing 9 people. The Tijuana cartel tried to kill Guzman in 1993, but killed a Mexican cardinal instead. Guzman fled to Guatemala and was arrested. Palma Salazar was arrested in 1995. While in prison, El Chapo still controlled the Sinaloa cartel through messages sent by his lawyers. He escaped in 2001 and regained full control. In 2008, a feud with the Beltran Leyva brothers led to violence across Sinaloa, Chihuahua, and Durango. El Chapo, Ismael El Mayo, Zambada, and Juan José El Azul, Esparragosa Moreno, became the cartel's main leaders. In 2010, Mexican authorities killed Ignacio Nacho Coronel, breaking the link with the Milenio Cartel. This caused a split, leading to the creation of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, a major rival today. El Chapo was arrested again in 2014, but escaped in 2015 through a tunnel. He was recaptured in 2017 and extradited to the U.S. This sparked an internal power struggle within the Sinaloa Cartel. Clashes occurred between El Mayo's followers and El Chapo's sons, with some instigated by Damaso El Licenciado López Núñez, El Chapo's former right-hand man. El Licenciado and his son, Minilik, were later arrested and are in U.S. custody. Leadership of the Sinaloa Cartel. The Sinaloa Cartel doesn't have a traditional top-down leadership structure. Instead, it operates as a network of different groups that work together. Both inside and outside Mexico, the cartel often collaborates with local partners to carry out its activities. Currently, the cartel has two main leadership groups. One is led by El Mayo, the last remaining leader from the older generation. The other group is led by El Chapo's sons, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, Ovidio Guzman Lopez, Ivan Archivaldo, and Jesus Alfredo, who are known as the Chapitos. Each group within the cartel has its own armed forces or mini-armies to help them protect and control territories. The Chapitos are associated with groups like the Ninis, the Salazar, Gente Nueva, and the Chimales. El Mayo's network works with groups like the Antrax and the Russos. The four Chapitos are top targets for both Mexican and U.S. authorities. Ovidio Guzman was arrested by Mexican authorities in January 2023 after a failed attempt in 2019. He was extradited to the United States in September 2023. Recently, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, one of the Chapitos and the son of Sinaloa Cartel co-founder Joaquin El Chapo Guzman Loera, was detained along with Ismael El Mayo Zambada Garcia, the other co-founder of the cartel, after landing in a small plane in El Paso, Texas. Joaquin Guzman Lopez pleaded not guilty to U.S. drug charges last week, 5 days after his dramatic arrest in an operation where he delivered his father's former partner to U.S. authorities. Wearing an orange jumpsuit but no handcuffs, he entered the plea in a Chicago federal court. U.S. District Judge Sharon Johnson Coleman ordered him detained until his trial. If convicted, Guzman Lopez could face the death penalty. How they earn a lot of money. The Sinaloa Cartel makes a lot of money by trafficking large amounts of drugs like fentanyl, heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine, and marijuana. According to the DEA, the cartel has distribution hubs in several U.S. cities and controls smuggling routes in Arizona and California. They also reportedly run fentanyl labs in Mexico. The cartel is one of two groups that use their control of the fentanyl trade to develop advanced money laundering methods, including the use of cryptocurrency. For example, they laundered over $869,000 using cryptocurrency between August 2022 and February 2023, according to a U.S. indictment. Most of the fentanyl that enters the U.S. comes from ingredients made in China. These ingredients are pressed into pills or packed as powder and then smuggled in from Mexico by drug cartels. Even though Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, a former leader of the Sinaloa Cartel, was found guilty of many crimes and sentenced to life in prison in 2019, his drug empire made him a billionaire. He was once ranked the 10th richest man in Mexico and the 140th in the world in 2011, with a net worth of about $1 billion. To help with drug trafficking, the Sinaloa Cartel also built a large shipping and transport network. Guzman was called the biggest drug lord of all time by some, and the US DEA considered him the godfather of the drug world, believing he surpassed even Pablo Escobar in influence and reach. Currently, the CJNG is the Sinaloa Cartel's main rival. However, the two organizations have come to work together at certain stages of drug supply chains. For example, by sharing suppliers of precursor chemicals for the production of methamphetamine and fentanyl. The Sinaloa Cartel is a strong example of how powerful organized crime can be. Their huge wealth comes from many illegal activities, showing the urgent need for countries to work together to fight drug trafficking. Even though capturing key leaders has hurt the cartel, it still remains powerful, highlighting the challenges ahead. What do you think about the Sinaloa Cartel's operations? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the criminal world. Thanks for watching.